Yeah, it's kind of awkward to see movies now that were done right before that have them in there. It kind of feels weird, but like, for the most part, it is what it is. And it's like, I mean, you're not gonna, I mean, it just, you have to give a little time to blow over. And that's the biggest thing right now is everybody still kind of feels that taste in their mouth.
Yeah, that usually happens.
So we just have to wait for all the episodes that will eventually get shown.
Well, here's an interesting thing to keep in mind also. One thing about the Japanese, which is similar to what you heard about after the New Zealand earthquake and the Chile earthquake, is that they, just like American people, have a tendency to prefer getting life back to normal versus trying to get help for that. A lot of people usually want to have their life the way it was before the tsunami. So a lot of people, I'm pretty sure, a lot of people emphasize, giving to the Red Cross for Japan's relief and things like that. But what about focusing maybe on, instead of giving relief, going out to the dealer's room afterwards? By the way, the dealer's room, I think, is open after this panel's over, and buying anime and manga itself, because that would actually send money back to the economy, put money back into the Japanese economy, get the companies who make it to actually get back on their feet, get more work for the people who are making it. The same thing also, go down to somewhere like Vino and get some of the imported sakes they have there. Or you could actually get that from the liquor store too, and more of a base brand version of the imported sake. Or go down to, if you know where the Bay Oriental market is, or that Asian market on Division, well, it's now the best Asian market on Spokane Avenue. Get some of the actual foods and snacks down there that are imported from Japan, similar to what I have there. Basically what I'm getting at is buy stuff that's imported from Japan to at least help the economy too, not just send aid and give a handout. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And as I said, the dealer's room's open here after this panel's over. And speaking of the economy, now let's move on to the issue of illegal downloading. That's actually one thing that's two-side debate. Some people think that downloading illegally isn't, well, it's technically not fully illegal because they don't actually enforce it, but it is because it is a law. And a lot of people think that it's no big deal because all they're doing is copying some. Some people think it is a big deal because it's basically you're not supporting what it is, you're not putting anything back into it, you're just watching it and leeching off the people who make it. And some people are either way on it. So we'll go ahead and divide up in people who are absolutely against any type of file sharing over here, people who are okay, file sharing doesn't matter over here, and people who are kind of in between in the middle again. And people who don't want to join the discussion can stay back this way.
Welcome to the club.
I'll do it. Somebody has to.
What is this one?
I'll do it.
Against
Because
4.
this is, that's the middle.
In the middle.
4 is that way.
Is it seriously us 4?
Okay. Okay, you're completely against all file sharing, torrenting, rapid share, things like that?
Yeah, I'll put a disclaimer on any argument I do right off the bat, so it can't be used against me that I am a bit of a hypocrite because over here, I, like anybody else that tried it.
Or something?
What?
Playing devil's advocate or something?
Kinda, yeah. I'm playing the role of.
Let's so we don't go too far. Let's just say that that no one can really say they're not guilty at all of it, because if anyone may have seen something there and might have watched something that was actually uploaded in the wrong place, let's say, and then knew about later, or figured they knew it was uploaded in the wrong place and figured, what's it gonna matter? The police aren't gonna bust down my door because I watched this.
Yeah.
So I mean, even if you're completely against file sharing, it's kind of hard to avoid.
Yeah. Well, the reason I guess for me is that ultimately, I suppose it's tough because the biggest problem with it is that you are taking something else someone has done and you're pretty much pioneering that as your own. I mean, like, you're not taking it and reselling it, but at the same time it has to do with like copyright laws, or it would be the same as you walking into a convenience store and grabbing a bag of chips and being like public property, public domain. Every time anybody shouts that particular battle cry, this is public property, public domain. Not really. Somebody made that. They put time and money into the production value, whatever it was, and if they choose to want to sell it for money, that's their right. It's different if you're at a street corner giving away, food, and you're like, okay, here you go, here's, a sandwich, I made it, but it's all you, buddy. But when somebody does legitimately want to profit for that, and you just take it without that, at the end of the day, you're still stealing, no matter how you flip it. So.
That's true, but one counterpoint to that, now that I took this thing out of the bowl and ate it, there's one less of those in there. But one thing to keep in mind on the flip side is that if you actually take a copy of something like episode Gurren Lagann or Evangelion, then there's one more. But me taking this out, it means there's one less.
The bowl doesn't make any significance though, because it's all about intention to put that bowl out for anybody to eat.
That's
or
true.
to have. I'm talking about the fact that if a company or a creator wants to market their product as a, hey, let's sell this to people, that's ultimately their right. And if you're downloading it illegally or making illegal copies, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you're doing something horrible and you're stealing. But ultimately, you are taking what somebody worked hard for, and you're taking the fruits of their labor without return.
Okay. By the way, as a moderator, I feel I have to be contrarian to each side. Where's the debate panel?
Alright, yeah. I was just wondering if I could steal my hat back.
Oh, sorry.
Many apologies for interrupting your panel. Sorry.
Enjoy if you want.
No, other place.
But let's move on to the opposite side. You're okay with things like file sharing, rapid share, watching it on YouTube, things like that?
Yeah, no problem with it. I use file sharing for music and all that. And yeah, if I wanted to, I go to Walmart or Target or wherever, grab me a CD for $15. But I get 15 other songs that I don't really want to hear. I only, want this one in particular song, or I just want to watch this one in particular video, or I want to watch this one particular thing. I don't want to buy the whole 7-series box set.
And you don't use anything like iTunes or Rhapsody or anything like that, or do you?
No, we don't have any go to that. So.
Well, actually, with
iPod or
iTunes, you don't have to have an iPod. I've actually found that you can download onto a CD or put some from iTunes on any computers and put them on a CD or whatnot.
Yeah, I do buy them off of iTunes.
Oh, okay.
Every so often. But I mean, it's just, oh, cool, click,
Yeah.
click.
Well, at least on iTunes you're buying them on. Something like Rapid Share, it's not that.
Yeah.
Well, to be contrarian like I was with him, do you think that would actually hurt the artist that you're actually doing that?
No, I am actually an economics major for college, so we've had this discussion before, and back in the day when the Beatles were playing, they'd make more money off their records than they would at a concert. Even though thousands and thousands of people go to the Beatles and they'd have to come in an armored truck, they wouldn't be making as much money as they would in records. Well, when you look at it in a business standpoint, file sharing can be one of your best friends. Because, hey, let's get this product out there. Hey, you like